Hey, this is Chris with Big Sexy Outdoors. And whether you're cutting up your favorite vegetables for your favorite herbivores, or slicing some onions for some good old-fashioned sandwiches, and in fact, these knives are so easy to use, you don't even have to ask her to make you a sandwich. Okay? You can use the slicer, cutting up your favorite meats. Use your chopper. Really get in there. All of these are brought to you by Matthew Blade Works, and he has this special Christmas set on sale. Use the PSO for getting $50 off. Thanks again.
The sun peeks over the horizon. Your excitement builds. The animals in the field start to stir. The forest comes alive with sounds. The sunlight glimmers off the lake, and the mountains start to shed their morning fog. So load up your favorite ammo, grab a few buddies, and head out to make some memories. And tell the rest of the world that you've gone hunting. Gone Hunting is a 1 to 4 player game of family fun where you build a unique hunting ground, scout different animals, buy weapons and gear, and roll dice to hunt. Complete objectives and try not to miss. So let's load up the truck and back Gone Hunting today. See you in the field.
All right, we are live and ready to go. Hello, fellas.
What's going on, guys?
So we have tonight. Sorry, go ahead.
No, just saying, hey.
So we have tonight the Keystone Experience with Rob Warwick and Matt Pitzer, right? Matt, make sure I say that right. I did say that right?
Yep, you got it right.
So the cool part of this, guys, is these guys, as you can see in the block above, do podcasts as well. So I think this is going to be a really cool time, really great session. And let's see, Nick,
Hey, Nick.
the Mace. What's up, boys? There you go. So this is going to be really cool, really good time, and we are super glad they joined us. So, guys, tell us a little bit about yourselves.
Good, Matt.
Oh, you're going to make me go first.
Yeah, I do all the work all the time, so you go ahead and do it.
Well, my name is Matt Pitzer, and Rob and I started this podcast about 5 years ago now. We are just two guys that love hunting, fishing, and then we ride our Harleys every other chance we get.
Yeah.
And we're 5 years in now. I don't know where it went, how we got this far with two guys that knew absolutely nothing about podcasting.
No, it was, we got started right when the pandemic was going on too. So that kind of really put a, damper on thing, kind of, but for us, it was a good thing, because nobody gets to do anything. So what are they going to do? Sit back and listen to a podcast, So it kind of helped us in a way. We put out an episode, every week? The first year. And I'll tell you what, I commend you guys for keep going at it, because it got brutal after a while.
Brutal is definitely the word, fellas. Brutal is definitely the word.
And we both, do some filming, self-filming. We got, a YouTube channel out there, and just love the sport of hunting, man. Want to pass it on to everybody. I'm a big trapper. I want everybody to realize that, that stuff, you need that stuff to keep all these other critters happy in the world. You know what I mean? Just trying to think how I want to describe it. I don't want to apologize for what I do. I'm me. We hunt, we fish, we harvest things, we use them. I don't shoot stuff just to hang it on my wall. When it comes to my deer hunting, I am picky. I'm not one of those guys that just shoots the first deer that walks by. But
I'm a guy that attempts to shoot deer the first time it walks by, especially if I have a rifle in my hand. It's a free pass right there for that deer.
I gave up being picky. I'm with you. I'm 100% with you, Matt. I used to be picky. You know what happens when you're picky? You end up missing out at some point because the one you wanted, you left go.
Yeah.
So I gave that part up. Sorry, I want to interrupt. I just want to tell Matt he's 100% correct.
Well, depending on, and the reason I'm not picky is those that have followed, Rob and I over the years will hear many stories. You give me a bow, it is a dead animal. Give me a rifle, and it's going to laugh at me.
I want
10
you to know
feet.
I'm the same way, guys.
10
It's
feet with a
terrible.
high-powered rifle.
I've done it. 100% done it. Had them point blank and still find a way to miss.
So
It's
I
my
got to
niche.
ask,
What can I
what do you
say?
think it is? Not to interrupt. What do you think it is? What do you think at that moment changes from the bow to the rifle that puts you in that scenario?
For me, it's I don't put the time in with a rifle. I will shoot my bow year round. Rob and I both help out at our buddy's archery shop here local to us called Creek Archery. So we kind of have access to that place whenever we want. So I will shoot my bow year round.
Yeah.
I can't lie. I'm one of those guys that I pick my rifle up about a week before the season, go to the range, make sure it still hits fairly decent.
Oh, they froze up.
Froze a minute. Give him a second.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
That fella right there, Dexter the deer dog. You guys need somebody to track some whitetails for you. If you put a bad shot on one, there's a fella to get a hold of right there.
Well, we'll definitely get a hold of him because
He's a good guy.
actually, I'd like to get him on. I have a couple people going to join us about dogs, deer tracking. So he'd be pretty cool to have on when we get our big session going.
Yeah. Yep.
And plus, I saw you guys had that the creek. See again, that's my brain freeze with names.
Creek Archery.
Tree, yeah. And I said to Ben, yeah, we ought to get them on. If they're supporting these guys, I want to show them off and support them too.
Yeah. Yeah. Reach out to Chris. He'll get it with you.
Good. Sorry.
Anybody we have on the podcast, I'm sure they will definitely enjoy doing it with you guys. I mean, don't be scared to reach out to any of them.
Oh, we appreciate that greatly. Absolutely greatly. That's awesome.
I'll tell you what, you want to do some really fun stuff, reach out to Travis T-Burn Turner.
I've reached out to him twice.
Have you?
Yep.
Okay. Him, Philip Vanderpool.
I did not reach out to him.
Reach out to Philip, Dan Young, any of those guys, man. Those are the people that helped us get to where we're at. There's so many people in the background that helped us do what we're doing right now.
Well, I commend you for what you are doing. It's not easy,
Yeah.
and we know from our own side of things, this is not anything easy at all. There's a lot of time and effort behind doors that nobody realizes exist.
Yeah, we try to every once in a while go live on Facebook or something like that and try to let people see what we're doing behind the scenes. Like a couple of weeks ago, we did a podcast and we did a live right before the podcast, let the listeners come on and ask us some questions and stuff like that. And it was pretty cool. We got a good response out of it. So, maybe that might be some more stuff down the road.
I was looking at something you were doing, and I got to switch the layout. No, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. That we're going to get to that one. Trust me, I like that. But this is something that I thought was really cool. I was going to ask you about your setup for this. How'd you come about? Like, what do you recommend for setting up and videoing something like this?
For us shooting or just my video setup?
Just the setup in general. Yeah.
That's your camera, buddy. So you can explain that one.
It is my camera? Yeah, it is. I run a Canon XA10 with that's a 7-inch newer monitor on top.
Wow.
And
did he freeze?
I think so.
I thought I said a move.
But I do
running the Phantom mic is what I'm running on that camera. So
okay.
And I got on the handle there is my Verazoom.
That if you were filming, so if anybody's looking to get into filming, you don't have to go absolutely crazy with it.
Mm-hmm.
Two things I would recommend is to make sure that whatever camera you buy has a LANC port. And the reason you want that port is because that VariZoom remote will plug into that to that port, and that gives you the controls back where your hand is.
Gotcha.
You can start recording, stop recording, you can zoom in, you can zoom out. You don't have to reach to the front of the camera to do anything.
Yeah. The only time I reach up to that is to turn that monitor on, because that monitor runs on its own battery. It don't have phantom power. And
Mhm.
I don't like leaving it set on the whole time. So I just reach up, because it's when the camera's not on, there's just a gigantic blue screen and it puts off some serious light.
Yeah.
Oh, forgive me for the words, but that looks like a badass setup.
Oh yeah. And not only
Thanks.
that, but I like all the decoys in the back too. You're shooting at. That's a nice
Yeah.
setup there.
Are those
too.
all Glendale's?
We back? Okay.
Are those all Glendale's?
God, who knows what we got back there? That's
So
our
you're like
buddy,
us. We just buy whatever it is and throw it
our
in there.
buddy
And make
Chef
it look
Alex. That's his house.
cool. So I gotta
Yeah,
ask you guys.
That guy
Yeah.
right there.
That is
That's
Chef
it.
Alex.
That's Chef Alex.
Chris, how did you know that?
I'm good. What can I say?
I need to know. How did you know that that was him?
I don't know. It just is what it is. I like the setup. I just like I like that table too. The table's pretty
That is
awesome.
where the crew from Crick Archery is going to start doing their podcast.
Okay.
Oh,
They're going to
nice.
have a podcast called The Broken Knock. So
That's a cool.
that is where me and Matt started. And it got cold up there in the wintertime.
That is at the top of Creek Archery. That's where we did our entire first season and maybe part of the second season.
Yeah.
And it was a really cool setup. And I wish we could have stayed down there, but it wasn't heated. And in the summer, it wasn't air conditioned.
Yeah.
Ah.
So it makes it really hard to get people to show up to do a podcast when you tell them, oh, it's only 90 up there.
So I gotta
it's-
ask this kind of off subject, guys, but what got you into this? What got you started? Where's the where was the turning point from hunting to this?
You want this one, buddy, or you want me to take it?
Go ahead. You can.
So actually, Rob and I got started. Oh my, it's probably been close to 10 years now. We were part of a different show. There was a local TV show to our area called Keystone Wild Outdoors, and we were part of that show. We used to run it locally here on Fox 53, and that's how we got into filming, was for the show. And Rob and I kicked the idea around of a podcast mainly to keep the show relevant through the summer months. You know, there's not a lot of hunting that you can do here in summer, and there's only so much fishing you can show on TV. So with the TV show airing in the fall through winter, we kind of had a dead area in the summer. And, you know, Rob said, what do you think about a podcast? And I said, I'll help you.
Yep. So I ordered our first kit off of Amazon. I think it cost me about $200. I think the only thing we got left from that kit are the headphones and maybe 2 microphones that are sitting across the table from us. But we've moved on to bigger boards and more sound equipment and more money. You know, the wife hates to see an electronics box show up at the door because she knows, you know.
Sorry, I think that's great. No
I
wife
told her
likes seeing
today-
anything come up to the door, guys. No.
I told her today, I was like, hey, I forgot to tell you, I just ordered another set of wireless mics for when I'm hunting. She's like, you just ordered a set. I said, yeah, but this set's a little better. I'm gonna let Chef Alex use them other ones when he's cooking. So yeah, so I'm in trouble.
It's called the doghouse. Just so you.
Yep.
I used to be in that a lot. Then I got divorced. Now I'm in a big sexy house and I ain't gotta worry about it no more.
because when he goes in there, he tends to drag me with him.
Yeah.
So he got the new mics, and he needed the new mics because we bought a smaller board. I don't know if they can see us here, but I've got our Roadcaster board sitting here in front of me, and we just got a different one that's much smaller. So when we go do live events, it's a little easier than carrying this big monstrosity around. So that was his reasoning. He's like, well, Matt just got us a new board, and I need new wireless mics to go with it.
So basically, he kind of ran the bus over your heels and then left it do the rest while it was there.
Absolutely.
Hey, anybody that knows us, Rob and I are normally together more than we're not. I see him more than my family. So he goes in the doghouse. I'm right there with him, normally for good reason, and vice versa.
I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than a good team, fellas. So if it's working, keep going.
That's right.
I mean, even in trouble with the wife, if that's what it takes, you do it. I'm not ever in trouble with my wife. Chris, however, Chris sometimes has to take the rap for what we do. At one point, I think earlier, guys, he was yelling at me. My mic wasn't working, and I was like, "Are you messing with me again? Stop messing with me!" And his wife's like, "Keep yelling at it. It's working." So I think that's great. So 5 years ago, you two got together, again, friends before, decided this is what we're going to do. And I mean, so, we see where you're at today, right? So just Facebook, you're at I was looking, you have 3,000 followers. You're just at 3,000, right? I think you need 4 more, did I see? You need 4 more to get there?
I believe as of an hour ago, we were at 3,013 or something like that.
Nice.
Congratulations, fellas. That's a
Thank
big
you.
deal.
Yeah, and
So,
I guess we got to do a giveaway sometime.
Those are tough. We used to do a giveaway every week. Those are tough.
Yeah.
You know how many people didn't claim a prize?
It was crazy. I swear
It was crazy. People give us stuff and we'd be like, now what we were doing is putting it up on our Facebook page. Well, we got to the point where we're like, we're not gonna do that anymore. We're gonna do it in the beginning of a podcast live. That way people are watching, right? You want more people to watch. Isn't that always a goal when you're doing this stuff?
Right.
And nobody would respond. They'd be watching,
Yeah.
their name would pop up that
Like,
they're on there.
You won this. We're going to send it to you. You don't pay for anything. We're just going to send it to you. You won this. And nobody responds to you. They don't.
Wow.
We
Yeah.
stopped doing it. I said, I'm done
That's
with giveaways,
crazy.
Chris. I'm not doing it. I have a tote full of giveaway items in my
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna give them to some kid, honestly. Like we've been donating to like charity events and stuff. We'll just give them away that way. I'm not stressing over it. I wanted to do something good,
Yeah, that's the nice thing. We got some sponsors that, they find out we got an upcoming event called Chico Outdoors.
I seen that. Tell us a little bit about that.
Matt, go ahead. This is another one of your babies. I got us
There it
involved
is.
in it, and now it's Matt's baby. There it is right there.
Yeah. So the annual outdoor expo, it is at our local fairgrounds here. Guys that were complete strangers 6 years ago, we now consider family, and that is Matt Kreis. His brother unfortunately passed away to an undiagnosed heart disease, and Andrew Chico is what they called him. Loved hunting, fishing, like we do, like we're all talking here tonight. And his real passion was getting kids involved. You guys will agree with me here. We've got to get more youth involved. We got to get them off the video games, get a fishing pole in their hand, get a bow in their hand, something to get them outdoors. So Matt and his family started this in honor of his brother. It is a complete nonprofit organization. They give back to our local community. In the area, they had a camp up in Potter County. So they'd go up there and they stock fish for that. This event started in a fire hall, and Rob and I were there the first year. The fire hall, I think, was at capacity at about 300 people, and they had 600 come through.
Yeah.
So over the years, this event has gotten bigger and better. We now have, I think last year they did 6,000 plus through the gates We're now at a a fairgrounds. It's all hunting, fishing related. They set up awesome stuff for the kids. They have a kids fishing pond, a whole building dedicated to kids activities, different vendors there. It's such an awesome event. They have music. My favorite thing is the beer wagon.
The beer wagon. The beer wagon, the good food. I
Yeah.
mean, there's lots of good food there.
They had axe throwing there last year.
Yeah. The live animals.
Yep. It's just an awesome event. And for us to be a part of that, and they're one of the people that have supported us. So we love supporting them. We do everything we can to make sure people know about Chico Outdoors, because that's what being a sportsman is about. It is getting kids involved, getting people in general involved. And that's part of why Rob and I started this. We just want to share our passion for hunting and fishing in the outdoors with whoever wants to listen. And we want to hear stories from it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you said about the interactive, can't give something away. It's crazy because we'll post a question on the Facebook, and, our normal crew of people that follow us will answer, and they'll put their stuff up there. But, just don't be scared, man. Everybody, you got a question, you want to know something, ask. And there's no stupid question when it comes to this kind of stuff, I mean, I don't know how much yous followed along this year, but I took his boys and him. This is their first full year running a trap line, and I'll tell you what, I've been doing this since I was 11 years old. I enjoyed learning how to do this stuff. I'll put down what I'm doing and take anybody's kid out to do it. They want to go. I guess he's showing a clip.
Well, you're good. He
No,
can
no,
do it
I'm-
while you're talking.
No, I was going to say, is this the one you wanted me to show about the trapping?
Yeah, that's one of them. One of the double trouble. That was the first time the boys caught, I believe, 2 raccoons in the same day.
Okay. No, I was going to wait till you were done. Till you were done
Well,
explaining.
that's the best way to do it. Is
You brought up the boys, and Chris, man, he reads that stuff. He was like, I got this. I'm telling you, there's something about him. He just can read stuff.
But yeah, the best way to get a kid involved, go out and get yourself a dozen of dog-proof traps. They're reasonable. They're not ridiculously priced. Go to the dollar store, buy a box full of mini marshmallows and some kind of sweet syrup. Go out, set a trap. I mean, set it in your yard. You're going to catch, you don't got to worry about the neighbor's dog. You don't got to worry about the neighbor's cat. You're going to catch a raccoon, maybe a possum. Every once in a while, you might get an adventurous skunk that's going to stick his arm down in there. And, if you do that, then you call the neighbor over and tell him he caught a skunk and let him deal with it.
That's good advice. That's really good advice.
Or hopefully you have new guys that are trapping and never had to deal with a skunk before. And you tell them, hey, buddy, here's this, have at it. I'll be down here at the truck. When you're done, come see me.
I love that advice. That's the worst thing I've ever seen in a trap. I don't care how many times you trap a skunk. Nobody can convince me that smells okay.
No, I've talked to old timers and they tell me, to dispatch them right in the rib cage. They won't spray. Yeah. Well, I don't know what world they live in, because the skunk doesn't know the rule book and he just sprays. I don't care what you do. I'm going to go back to when I was little. We did the, little wooden baseball bats from the pirate games they give you. That's what I carried in my trapping basket, because every hole you put in was a $5 bill that you lost, So, I mean, it sounds cruel, but you just tap them on the nose and it is enough to knock them down and knock them out for a few minutes. And then you take care of them, humanely, but they still spray everywhere.
Yeah, they still spray. Our TJ in our group, he's on here right now watching, I'm sure of it. And he makes his own sense with it and his own, I don't know how he does it. I mean, I want to cry.
I love the smell of it.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
Oh, When that skunk sprays, that's horrible. I can't even get past it.
You ought
That's
to
the
come
worst
out.
part of trapping for me.
You ought to come down to my shed.
Oh no.
I got some Thanksgiving turkey and a little bit of whitetail scraps and a few squirrels in a 5-gallon bucket that have been in there since October.
See, I don't know if
So-
that'll bother me. I rot stuff in the sun for catfishing. I mean, I
They're
rot
just getting
pretty bad.
they're getting right to the right, consistency now where I can add a little bit of glycerin and a little bit of skunk urine, and next year it'll be in a hole for a coyote.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I haven't trapped, but maybe to go help a couple people check traps. And, I personally don't set them, but I just, that's a smell. I mean, even in the woods when a skunk sprays, I'm like, oh, damn. It's hard for me, man. I just can't get past it. I can't lie. I'm sure in time I will, but Chris, you did pull up the video here of the boys. Let's show this. This is awesome. I know you're fast forward. Look how fast it's going.
Monday, January 8th. Back out.
Man,
on
who
the
is
trap
that ugly
line.
guy there?
And I moved a bunch of stuff around Sunday. This wasn't one of them. But we got a coon. We got another raccoon. We set this out last week and managed to pick him up. So let me get you guys spun around here.
There he is. That Duke Dog Proof's got him caught. We're going to get him dispatched and keep checking the trap line. But second trap, first coon. Duke Dog Proofs, man. They do the job.
What'd you find, Colton?
Ricky again,
Ricky number 2.
staring at us from behind the tree. Third trap, well, fourth. Barely see him. Fourth trap. Looks like a part of the tree. Second Ricky.
Second coon trap, right?
Yep.
Coyote sets are empty, but
The coons.
the coons are moving last night. Let's get this one taken care of, remade, and let's go. We've still got about 3 or 4 more to check.
My traps sometimes do work.
So this set, about a week ago, Colton put this in, picked the spot and everything. We had one pull out of it. But here it is. He's all tangled up again. We're going to get him dispatched and remake again. Number 2 for the day, our second double on this property.
I got a buddy, the buddy that lets us trap at. He was very happy with the amount of raccoons that were taken off that property this year.
No, I want you to know that we're just like you guys. Like, we want kids involved every way possible, any way possible. So seeing the smile on your boys' faces there, I think that's an awesome dad thing is what that is, man. Teaching your
Yeah,
kids
but
something
you know
new.
what? I honestly, and I love it, but I couldn't do it without him. Like, he's the one that got us into it. And, without Rob showing us how that this year, were because he took the time out of his schedule and came and helped us and dealt with us moving at a much slower pace than what he is used to.
Yeah,
I learned this year for the first time, Rob. So I want you to know it was the same way for me. This guy was moving 100 miles an hour, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" I'm afraid to even trap to take my fingers off.
Well, I did get to show the boys that when you get a little too comfortable with those Duke traps, and I don't use a whisk broom or a feather like most guys, and they smooth their trap over to put their divot in the pan. I use my hand, the backside of my hand, but I've been doing it for so long, it's kind of like second nature. Well, I was talking to one of the boys and not paying attention to what I did, and I pushed down a little too hard and snapped that Duke 550 off across my fingers and said a few choice words, and thank God for gloves.
Now, where's that video? See, those are the videos we need.
I know I could never do it. I'm not that good. I've seen guys even they take their hand and they just go and they go and tap the pan and they can pull their hand out before it clips them. And I'm like, I'm not that quick.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
You
I don't
know,
know. I mean, I'm a big guy. Big guys aren't quick.
No,
No.
I like
Amen.
cheeseburgers. My hands are
Amen,
made for
brother. I'm
cheeseburgers.
with you. I can devour a cheeseburger in 4 seconds, but man, I ain't pulling my hand fast enough.
That's what I always say. I just all I got to do is trip somebody when we're out bear hunting. If the bear gets angry, I'm just knocking them over. I ain't
Yeah.
trying to run away. I'm knocking whoever's with me over.
And I can walk casual.
Matt, now you know why. Now you know why you're his friend.
Exactly. As I
Your
said,
new
no matter
nickname's
what,
bear bait.
he's talking about knocking somebody over. He might as well said, Matt, I'm knocking you over.
So I got to ask you guys, let's go back to the beginning. What got you involved in hunting? Like, where did your hunting start? So I got where your podcast came from, right? I got where it's all there, but where did the love of hunting come from? I mean, you're sharing it with your boys, so it's something you definitely love.
Well, before we get into that, Rob, I do want to point out how nice it is to have somebody else bring us back on track.
Yeah.
It's such a nice change of pace for me not to have to bring us back onto a topic.
Yeah.
It's just natural, guys. I don't know what to tell you.
Mine was my grandfather. My dad passed away when I was 9, so I didn't have him around. He was in Vietnam, Agent Orange, the whole 9 yards. Brain cancer took him out. So my grandfather basically raised me, and he's the one who got me started. Trapping, the farm. And it's pretty funny because I tell everybody this story. When I first started trapping, he said, "Boy," he said, "whatever you got in that trap tomorrow morning is your dinner." Why did I set this trap? I go out there first thing in the morning and I'm all pumped to go check my first traps. I get out there, first trap's empty, second trap's empty, third trap. Sure enough, there's a possum. I'm like, man, I got to take this thing home. I got to skin it. I got to eat it. I took it home, skinned it, gave it to my grandmother. She cooked it. I took about 3 bites of it, and that was it. Everything I ate the week before that came up. And I didn't trap for another 3 years until the old man said to me, "Hey, I really wasn't serious about you eating that." That's how much I love my grandfather. I kept doing it, but yeah, that was my first experience, and that'll stay with me the rest of my life. If it wasn't for Pap, I wouldn't be doing this.
That's such a hard lesson out of love.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Now, have you given
hard.
that? Now, have you given that same lesson to others?
No, I wanted the boys to catch a skunk this year. That was about as cruel as I was going to get to them. I'm not going to make them eat something that shouldn't be eaten.
Me and my pap were out fishing once, and I asked him, I said, "Pap, why do we always crawl under this fence instead of step over it?" He goes, "Go ahead, step over it." Well, my junk found out it was an electric fence. Yep,
Chestnuts on an open fire.
pretty much. Yeah, they'll let you learn the hard way.
See, grandfather's got a strange sense of humor.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
It's called tough love. That's what it is. It's tough love. They're teaching you. They want you to learn the hard way. They want you to know, that life isn't easy and you're going to have to figure it out. So they're like, good. Try that possum. See what you think.
Yeah, I don't think there's enough ketchup or A1 sauce in the world that can make a possum taste good.
We're at tell our experience this year, Chris.
I don't even think the hunt chef could make.
There he is. He's back. It froze a second.
Oh, yeah, that was a goal that I wanted to meet too, and that happened this year. The first ever whitetail buck with inline during our rifle season.
Oh, that was during rifle season. Yeah, I guess so with an inline.
The last Friday. Yep.
That's all. That's a good picture. It's a really good picture, guys.
Thank you.
Who took
So
that picture? Because it wasn't me.
Alex. Jeff Alex. He actually can fry an egg and take pictures every once in a while.
I can do both.
Yeah, we went to something this year called Taste of the Wild. Is that what that was called, right?
Yep, Taste of the Wild. It's another fundraiser event like you guys.
Yeah, like you guys do. Which we'd love to get you down for the next one next year.
Yeah, let us
But-
know.
But they had what did we have? Teriyaki
Coyote
bobcat,
ham,
coyote ham,
coyote stroganoff, groundhog shepherd's pie,
raccoon sausage.
raccoon sausage, rabbit. We donated a lot of rabbit and squirrels. I
Yeah.
have buddies that I kill a lot. My buddies kill a lot, so we
Crows.
donate a lot of that. Crow.
I don't know about that one.
Listen,
But
I'm
I'm
not
saying,
going to
if you
lie
wanna-
to you. I shoot a lot of crows. So you say there's not much to hunt right now? That is one of the funnest thing I have ever done.
But if you want to try some different kind of stuff, man, we'll bring you down. We got to get you down for that.
Oh, absolutely.
That sounds like it'd be fun.
We could set up a podcast stand. They do stands down there. We could set up together and do like a joint thing. That would be really cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Shoot us the dates. We're always, if we're able to make it, we try to get to as much stuff as we possibly can.
Yeah, that would be really neat. So I apologize, guys, that we broke up a minute. Chris is really smart. When he seen it break up, he went right to a picture to save us.
No, you're good.
That's what I do.
That's one thing when you're live. Every once in a while, there's a hiccup somewhere.
Yeah.
But we were talking about what got you into hunting, and Rob had an awesome story. What's yours?
Mine is I missed my friends. So I actually didn't start hunting until I was 21 years old. Excuse me. I didn't get into hunting. I always wanted to go hunting when I was a kid, but my family we used to do heating and air conditioning, and we still have a home oil delivery business. So fall and winter, it was our peak time. My friends, we got into college and I got tired of not having friends for every weekend from October to February. Like, where do my friends go? I have nobody to hang out with. So I actually started going up to my buddy's camp. It's outside of Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. The Del Grosso family. The dad, Rick, Jono, and Nick are his boys. Jono, it was my friend, and they're the ones that taught me. They let me come up to their camp and showed me how to hunt and gave me that passion I never knew I had. I wanted to go hunting, but it was more at first about just going up and hanging out with my friends. They would go hunting. I'd wait for them to come back. We'd go drink beer and have a good time. But the more I started going out with them and the more they started teaching me and showing me how to do it, I'm like, wow, I actually love doing this. And I thank them for it. I also hate them for it because I have spent an ungodly amount of money ever since then on hunting and fishing stuff. So
But
that's my story.
In reality,
very-
Matt, sorry.
What's that?
You broke up a second. I apologize. I thought you were done.
No, I was just gonna say I'm very thankful that I had friends like that showed me how to hunt and gave me a place to go. And it's just kind of gone from there.
So even though they got you spending money and got you off track here a little more than you wanted to be, I think both you guys, and please answer this your way, would be not so happy in life if you didn't have these things.
I would probably explode. This is like my wife when we got married. They had just moved goose season to February here in Pennsylvania, and she wanted to get married like February 1st, and that was right smack at the last 2 weeks of goose season. I was like, hey, you know what? Absolutely not. It's not going to work out. we cannot get married in the middle of goose season. I'm going hunting. You know, I'll see you in a couple weeks. But we ended up getting married 2 weeks later. You know, I mean, I mean, my daughter. I wish she was here to tell you guys. Matt will tell you she gets so mad at me Christmas morning. You know, Christmas morning, it's trapping season. I got an obligation to go check traps. You got to wait till I get home to open presents. So her whole life, that's what it was, you know. I mean, my family grew up around. Now I tell you what, you can't keep her out of the woods. She hunts just as much as us, I believe. You know, there's videos of her on there hunting and stuff like that. So she killed a really nice buck this year. But yeah, that's if I didn't get to do it, I'd probably explode.
Yeah, and I'll agree with Rob. You know, if you'd asked me 20 years ago, I'd say, yeah, that's kind of a cool hobby. But at this point, it's become a lifestyle and one that I love and wouldn't change anything on, and one that I, you know, both of us and you guys included are trying to share with people to get more people into what is an awesome lifestyle.
If you had to sum it up in one word, I agree. Lifestyle was an awesome word, but I'm gonna make you pick another one. Give me a word. If you had to sum it up in one word, mine is passion. What would yours be to sum up what it makes you feel?
Man, you know when I said I like these guys earlier?
Notice I knew my word before I threw it out there.
Yeah. Can't use lifestyle. Can't use passion.
I like lifestyle, but I feel
Hey.
like I think that's all our lifestyle once we fall in
It's-
love with it.
It's right in the name of our podcast, man. It's an experience.
That's a good word. I love it.
I am angry at you right now for using that word too.
There she is right there.
Yeah, let's watch this video. It'll give me another minute or two to think, seeing you guys keep
All right.
taking all these words.
Chris
He's
is
about, like,
genius, dude. I don't know what
15,
to
20
say.
yards from me in another
I
stand.
got you.
I had deer come off of my right side where we have another field off to our right. Deer came up behind me, 3 does. She came over to my left side, standing broadside at 20 yards. I shot, completely missed. She ran off. All 3 of them ran.
Man, Chris is gonna get in trouble for showing the miss.
Notice how Chris jumped off the screen
It
so
was a
she
Saturday
didn't see
morning. I
him.
was in class. I got a app notification from Scout Tech from the Bow Creek Outdoor cameras. There's a nice buck up by me and Dad's stands. So I was getting real excited during class. I was real irritated because I was still in class. The teacher let us out early. I was going to go up to where me and Dad usually hunt at, but he was already up there and I didn't want to mess him up. I know Matt had just gotten there a little bit before me. He was already in the stand getting set up with the cameras and everything. So I got changed quick and I went down to where he was in a new setup that we have. It's a double ladder stand sitting on like a power line. So this is a setup that me and Matt have actually hunted previously. We had a couple does come out before, a lot of turkey, but they never actually came down to us. They came from the cow pasture in front of us, kind of cut off into the woods before us and just never really gave us a shot.
Her and Jen got a pass to kill any size buck they can during archery season because they've never really got to take any bucks over there. So I had run into this buck a ton of times. I think everybody on the property has had an encounter with him. You know, I mean, I really didn't get to name the buck, and I named just about every deer that's over there. I'd call him a pain in the ass is what I'd call him because he was everywhere. We get a bunch of pictures of him on the trail cameras. Then I run into him opening day of the early inline season. And then a couple weeks later, I seen him up in the stand bow hunting the same night that I left that big 8-point walk. I believe the same evening that Haley got that deer is the last time I seen him because he come down past me and made his way down into the valley to her and Matt sitting down there in the tree stand.
Yeah, that's the cool part about filming all this is you can put like a timeline together
Well, let me ask you, what's your typical like? How much time do you spend before you setting up the cameras and stuff in the stands?
Man, to set mine up. You know, most of my stands that I go to, I leave the bracket in the tree
Mm-hmm.
because we use a fourth arrow camera arms.
Okay. Yep.
So the only thing I take out is my hub. I take that out of the tree. I leave all my other, what do I want to call them? I can't remember what they're called now.
Bases.
Yeah, the bases. I leave them in the trees.
We
So
tried
I
to
can
get
throw it
fourth
up pretty
arrow
quick.
on. Okay.
You tried to get them guys on?
Yeah, we tried to get fourth arrow on here, and they didn't get back to us yet.
Yeah, I haven't reached out to them guys yet.
Yeah, for me now, it doesn't take much time to get everything set up. But one of the things I guess was ingrained with when Jono and his family were showing me how to hunt, they got in super early, and that's just something I've kind of stuck with. I'm pretty religious about being in my stand at least an hour before the sun even thinks about coming up. And that's just part of also being a big guy. I want to take my time getting in there so that I'm not drenched.
A few moments later.
I'm the same way. I have to get there about 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Yeah, I just like to get in super early and let everything calm down. And honestly, you guys will agree, there is nothing better than seeing the world wake up 20 foot in the air.
Yep.
I think one of my favorite things, guys, that early in the morning or even in the evening, but morning I think is better, is hearing the turkeys come alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This cameraman should have been fired.
I like that.
Yeah, almost missed the main shot on the camera.
The good news to this is you made it. You might have almost missed, but you made it.
It was close. Yeah, that's how close she let that buck get to us. He was about 10 yards in front of us.
Wow.
Look at that excitement, man. There's nothing like that. I always say
She's gonna
if you
drop
want to
a
keep
3-point
kids off
mark in a minute.
drugs, I always say if you want to keep kids off drugs, teach them to hunt.
Yes. Absolutely.
There's a feeling, man, that you just can't explain. There's a high that comes with it that is unpredictable, unbelievable.
I think I was more excited than she was, and she was the one that shot it.
Well, I know when I shot my buck, I messaged him, just sent him I called him. He didn't answer, and I just left him a message that just said BBD, and he knew when I call you and tell you something like that, then something's going on. And he, like, within seconds called me back.
Yeah, I was hunting that night. I was on a different property when he shot the buck you guys showed with the inline earlier. He called me, and I'm like, well, I don't know if he's hunting or not. I'm hunting. I'll call him when I'm done. Then when I checked the voicemail, I'm like, okay, it's time to go. Packed my stuff up, hopped out of the stand, drove right over to the property.
So depending how high the hill is, I message BBD, but mine is Big Ben's down. Yeah, I'll tell you, filming is a world of difference. I could show you this year now. This is the first year, and I'm 44. I crippled one deer in my life until this year, and I crippled two this year, and I'm devastated by it. I crippled a beautiful 8. And a doe to top it all off. So like in 3-day period. But you watch them cameras over and over again, and I still have a hard time figuring, is that where I hit it? I mean, I showed Chris, he's like, I think you hit it high and back. And I'm saying, dude, I'm seeing that arrow when it runs. It's right in the spot. It's hard. Even that way, it's tough to see. Now we run Tacticam. Tacticam is one of them we run with our setup. Just so you can get the shot through the, right with the scope. But this year I had a GoPro explode. The first Saturday, I had this big buck come up, and he comes up through about 30 yards, and I was like, dude, he's getting it. I ain't gonna lie to you. I took the lazy way out. I grabbed the crossbow, okay? I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm gonna shoot it straight. So I lay over the rail, and it goes kaboom! And here's the video. My right limb hits I have a big what they call a gooseneck for the GoPro to sit on. And I shifted it from left to right because I was certain the deer were going to come straight up from the left. Well, that was wrong, and ended up smashing everything. My bow, the GoPro, no deer. And then to top it off, guys, the deer came 20 yards, 19 yards to be exact.
Wow.
I don't see him, Chris. Oh, there he is. Yeah, right there. I see his rack at the tree coming up. I don't know if you guys ever experience anything like this. I guess that's my question. You ever experience anything like this? Watch this.
Tell them what that vibrating is.
It's my daughter calling me. She just missed.
Okay. Oh.
And look how it lands. Like, that isn't bad enough, but it's like staring at me like, you idiot.
Yep. And that's not the first time he did that. He had one with his cell phone on the camera, took a shot, and the camera falls the same way, same angle, shooting up at him. Yeah.
I tested a new holder out, guys. All right. Amazon had an $8 holder. I thought, this is the greatest thing. You can zoom on it. You can get all the works in, right? It was cheap. Put my cell phone in it. Don't I have a nice 7-point walk up with it? And I had it on a 3006. Put it on. You can watch the whole video. Crosshairs go on, and it goes boom, and the phone just flips and flips and flips. And there's another one. My daughter's calling and calling and calling. Dad, did you get one? I had to run down out of the tree to get it because I knew she'd come walking down through. So don't I get to the floor to get it, and there goes a big 10-pointer. It would have went right to her. I was like, come on, man. I love that setup. So you run that big on top too. Like, you run that even when you're in the tree, you run that.
Yeah. I always run an extra monitor. It's just so hard to see those little screens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when you start looking at a camcorder or anything that I run on top, I, unlike Rob, decided to make my life harder with my camera choices. My camera, I actually run what's considered a prosumer camera, kind of a professional camera. So it's manual focus, manual zoom. So I get to have all that fun stuff and try to still shoot something.
That's tough when you're filming yourself.
Yeah, but that's hunting is fun and definitely challenging. But you were talking about that high earlier about getting kids outdoors and you get them on something and they harvest something that high. Like, you just can't miss it. I'll tell you this, it's even bigger when you can self-film it and you add that extra element into it. Like, okay, I just got that shot. It is also soul crushing when you miss the shot.
Yes, it is.
You get I've had plenty of animals that I've taken that weren't on film because they took, like, Haley's almost walked out of frame because I was trying to watch the camera, watch her, help her see where this deer is, and it almost walked out of frame. And I've had several walk out of frame, and you're like, wow, I just blew that opportunity.
And that camera has saved a bunch of whitetails' lives. Because I personally, if I take the camera with me, I intend to get the shot on film. You know, towards the end of last year, I was at the point to where I told him, I said, that's it. I'm done. I'm not taking the camera. You know,
That's all I get.
I'm going to hunt, and I just want to go back to the beginning and have fun, you know, because I put so much pressure on myself. You know, I got to do this. I don't have to do it. You know, I do it because I love it. And it just gets to the point where I get so frustrated with myself because I'm picky. You know, I spend a lot of time over on our deer lease, and I like get to know these bucks, and I pick one buck and he'll tell you that I hunt that one buck until the bitter end of the season, you know, and that buck that I killed with the inline, he was one of the 2 bucks that I was planning on shooting this year. And the opening day of gun season, I had missed my main target buck at 180 yards walking through a field. And that's when I decided right there that I was done with taking the camera with me. I was, you know, going back to not concentrating on that camera and just concentrating on making the shot.
I got to tell you, I think that's what happens to me. I got caught up on trying to make the shot this year. A couple times I was like, I got to get on film. I got to get on film. And then I lose focus of what I'm doing. And like I said, I crippled 2 this year, and that's embarrassing. I'm not afraid to say it. It's embarrassing. Nobody wants to cripple one.
I did one. You can ask him. I played the video over and over and over again, and we swore within 75 yards that deer was going to be dead. And I mean, there was blood everywhere. And I think all I did was opened her up like a zipper on the side, to be honest with you.
I don't know what I did. I know that that's a hard one for me to swallow.
Yeah, but it happens, and you learn from it, and you move on.
And that's what makes us better sportsmen, you know?
I agree. You know, it's always, for me, it's always a thought that, you know, they all say the food chain, so the coyotes will eat it, the fox will eat it and stuff. But for me, it's just the fact that I wasted, not, you laugh at me, but it's that I wasted the meat. You know, and it suffered. So I don't like the fact that if it suffered, I think that's horrible. But for me, I raised 3 kids alone. That meat is gold to us.
Right.
You know, today's economy, that's huge for us. That's a big deal. So for me, it's always like, oh, come on, man. I can tell you as many times this year I prayed to God, like, come on, man, just give it to me. Bear with me, show me, give me a sign. And you know, it just wasn't meant to be, I guess. You know, they say everything has its purpose and its reason, but that one there is a tough one for me. You guys hear my phone pinging. Chris is good at this, man. I'm telling you. He's good. When we hit 45, like he'll send me a bing. Watch your time. Then when we hit, because what happens is we end up hitting over an hour, and I don't care, guys. I always tell everybody I'll stay on longer than an hour, because you know it does upload later and go. But once you hit that hour mark, the live viewers start to die off.
Yeah.
And that's what we run into. So we try to always stay within that hour mark. So my phone just went ping. Hey,
well, I was looking today. I seen you was doing a little bit of rabbit hunting.
Oh, listen, now
we're going to turn the page. We're going to do some questions here.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'd love to come on and talk about it on your show because I love the rabbit hunting, and I do something a lot of guys don't do, which is crow hunt.
And we'll definitely get together and have you guys on.
I love the crow hunt, and the amount of people that think it's idiotic have never done it.
Nah, I'll go out and do it every once in a while. I don't get, you know.
Oh, I'm pretty serious.
I spend most of my time chasing coyotes when there's nothing else to hunt.
I put decoys all over, man. I'm into it. Like I have my sets timed out to where I want to be in a set. I have like I took Chris. He's like, "You're an idiot." He didn't say it, but I could read it. You know, he's thinking all this for birds we don't even hardly do anything with. And I was like, man, you know, they're coyote bait. If we don't eat them, they go to coyote bait. But we've eaten them. I mean, they're not bad.
I believe it. It's a bird.
I would recommend nothing but the breast meat. Trust me when I tell you that.
That's about the same thing we eat off of the geese and the turkeys.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. that's what a lot of guys do. So I always recommend breast meat. You know, if you're afraid to eat an animal, always try to breast meat first.
Grind it up and make sausage out of it.
But again, at the hour mark, I want to make sure we stay within that in case we start losing viewers. So I'm going to ask you this question.
Okay.
I always ask everybody, if you had something to tell a newcomer, a youth, somebody in the outdoors, I don't care if it's trapping, hunting, fishing, camping, whatever it be, what would be your advice to them?
Go ahead, buddy. No, wait. The lows can be low, but the highs are amazing. Life enjoying it. You'll make, you guys will agree. I got more stories about deer I've missed or times that I wasn't even in the woods, because it's not always about the hunt and the harvest. It's about the people you do it with. And I've made lifelong friends with amazing stories, and that's all because of hunting.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with him. That'd be about what I'd tell somebody. Just it's not the harvest. It's the memories and the people you're going to meet along the way. You know, I mean, we just met each other. I guarantee you, we're going to stay friends from this day on. Now that we talk to each other doing this, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You know, the hunting community. I would like to hope that we're all a tight bunch of people. I know with trapping, trappers are some of the best people you're going to meet in your life, and they're going to teach you everything they know, and I try to do that with everything: bow hunting, fishing, trapping, riding my Harley. I get more enjoyment out of taking his one boy with me on the Harley, and then we get home and he tells his mom that, he almost fell off of my bike. Meanwhile, he had a belt wrapped around him and the seatbelt. He couldn't go nowhere, but he slid off of my seat onto the saddlebag. So he told his mom he fell off of my bike. But yeah, it's memories, and the people along the way. Stick with it. The first one will come. And once the first one comes, they're all going to come after that,
Yeah, I think that's great advice from both of you. Like I said, I always say if you want to teach a kid to stay off drugs, teach them to hunt. So
Yep.
I think that was great, guys. I think that was really good advice. We talk a little bit about keeping kids motivated in the outdoors and what we do. I don't know if you guys seen the intro in the beginning, but Chris and I have designed a board game called Gone Hunting, and we want to try to reach out to kids, and families that maybe dad hunts and the son hunts, but the mom and the daughter don't. Well, let's keep them involved. And if maybe they'll get involved because of it, maybe not, you can still have the hunting experience at home with your family. So we really tried hard to reach that. And what we did there, it wasn't a hit like we thought. Well, it was a hit. It's just, we didn't reach enough people. It cost a lot of money to reach. So we sold what, Chris, 70% of stock. So I think we sold about 70% of stock. So we definitely did sell and do what we wanted to do with it. I guess me, I'm a go-getter. I wanted that 100%. But that was our goal in it. And what you guys are saying is, to me, is heartfelt and 110% always what our goal is.
Yeah, the youth is what we got left, man. Once we're gone, who's going to do what we're doing? We need to pass this on. We need to teach them. We just had this conversation with the guys that were here earlier. One guy said about, "Oh, you think there's ginseng on that property?" And I looked at him and just sat there and stared at him. Now, if he was 10 years old and asked me if there was ginseng on that property, I'd have told him exactly where it was at. I'm not going to hide that information from a kid, because that kid might end up growing up and being a future ginseng hunter. But I'm not going to tell a 50-year-old guy that, hey, yeah, this is the best spot you want to go to. You don't tell people that stuff. Tell the kids. The kids are the ones that need to learn how to do that stuff. They need to learn how to look for it. The kids are our future. You know, that's all there is to it. There's nobody going to do this after we're gone if we don't teach the kids.
I agree. And if you make it a little easier for them along the way, they fall in love a little quicker.
Exactly. You take out your mistakes and teach them the right way.
Amen, guys. I'll tell you what, that was awesome. That's where I wanted to be. Like, that's where I wanted to be at the end of this, that we felt the same way. And I think we felt the same way through the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I'm really heartfelt touched that you guys joined us tonight.
Hey,
And
I
you got on to
appreciate
share
you
your
guys
stories.
reaching out to us.
Yeah, it was fun, and that hour goes super fast.
Yeah, I you don't realize how long. I mean, you're in conversation. It's like boom, gone.
Yep.
You're gonna have to make another Amazon order and get more cameras for when you're doing this now.
Yeah, right now we got, I don't know, we got 2 set up here, and there was 2 more from earlier, but we don't have like our big cameras that we film hunts with. We didn't set those up tonight. You know, we're trying all this newfangled stuff.
So how far are you guys from us?
Where exactly are you guys?
We're Schuylkill County. Say Harrisburg. We're Harris. We're about a half hour north of Harrisburg.
But what, 3.5 hours?
Yeah, if that. We're about 40 minutes southeast of Pittsburgh.
That's what I thought. My daughter's going to school in Johnstown this year.
Okay. Yeah, Johnstown's about 40 minutes farther than that from us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was gonna
that's
say
what I figured.
my kid went to school at Cal U out there.
Okay.
Yep.
So-
Cal's maybe a half hour from us.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you guys are probably about 3.5 hours away. We were actually just in Harrisburg back in February for the American Outdoor Show.
Outdoor show. Yep. Man,
You
if
know,
we'd
it's
only
funny.
known.
We didn't make it, and it's right up the road from us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was our third year going out and kind of covering it for the weekend. We make a weekend trip and go out and talk to a bunch of different people and try to learn more about hunting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hang
it's-
out
it's-
with
it
our
is a cool
sponsors that
thing.
are out there.
Oh yeah, which sponsor is that?
Oh, let's see who was out there. Back 40 Seed Company,
Nice.
Bow Creek Outdoors, and Forget Genetics. And
Nice.
then, of course, Alan Probes from North American Trapper. We hang out with him, good buddies with him. So
That's nice. That's cool. Hey, when you know people, it's so much easier to go somewhere like that and just fit. You know, you just like it's already something you love. So when you know somebody, it's like bam, and you're
Yep.
just there.
Yep.
So that's really cool. Chris, you got anything else you want to ask?
No, I just want to say thanks for coming on, and can't wait to see more. What you got?
hey,
Yeah,
we
well,
appreciate
gotta
you
get
guys having
together.
us on.
Yeah, absolutely, man. We'll set something up. Like I said, we appreciate you guys inviting us on. It was fun to be on this side of it for once.
we'll make the drive. We're not scared. We'll set up
Yeah,
a day. We'll make it work.
We'll do the opposite. We'll have you guys on next time. We'll set something up here.
Sounds
That'll
like
be
a plan.
awesome. I appreciate that, guys, very much. And most of all, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you being part of and supporting what we do.
Hey,
So
we
thank
got to
you
stick
very much.
together.
Yep.
Agree. Hunting community has always got to stick together. I say there's not enough of that.
yeah. We gotta keep away from the bad end of it and put ourselves in the spotlight, you know?
Yep.
Too many guys
Own 'em.
that say I'm better than him.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't shame somebody for what they want to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
You
Hey,
know,
man,
everybody's got their own opinion on a trophy.
Dude, we got along for a race. I'm telling you, we're gonna be good friends. You guys feel the same way we are. Blunt, honest, say it. I love it. So it's awesome. But it is that time, and we're gonna have to cut, even though we don't want to. So let's let it where it is, and let's you guys get a hold of me, and we'll go from there, and we'll set something up.
All right, man.
Sounds great. Thank you very much, guys. God bless both of you and what you are doing.
Thank you guys.
Thank
we
you, man.
appreciate it.
Have
Have a
great
good
night.
one.